Hi there, I'm Locan Iridium, and somebody once told me jelly is great. Okay, so week 2 has gone past now. I did find that I was working constantly and I feel like I haven't got anything to talk about, but I've just compiled a list of all the things that were in my blog, and here's a rundown. Okay, the beginning of the week wasn't particularly the best time. We were around £100 short on the rent, so I've had to take out a cash loan in order to pay for the rest of the rent. Now, some of you might realise that this is a really bad idea. I believe so as well, but unfortunately needs must, and that's what cash loans are for. However, to make up for it, I am doing a hell of a lot of overtime, but at least the rent is paid for another month. I have been cataloguing everything that I've been eating over the past few days. Here's a few snapshots of what I've been eating over the past week. Not that you really care what I'm eating, it's more of a personal thing to make sure that I can check up on what I'm actually eating and whether I'm sticking to my healthy eating plan. The healthy eating plan? Okay, so the healthy eating has slightly gone out the window this past week, but that is due to finances. Money's been awfully tight this week and I found myself that I'm eating the scraps out the bin. No, I'm not. But I did have to empty the shrapnel jar and find a few pennies in order to buy a £1 pizza for dinner. Okay, it's not the glamorous amount of foods, but at least I'm still here. To top it all off, the pilot light disappeared from our gas boiler. And when I say disappeared, it just decided to disappear. Unfortunately, we do have a little problem with that boiler and we had to wait for our landlord to come down and sort it out. You just push the button. What's wrong with that? Well, if only it was that simple. We've had to wait for our landlord to come out and sort it out because he knows the best way to start this boiler. So in the meantime, it's been a case of wrapping ourselves up and feeling nice and toasty with loads and loads of layers in such a cold house. But at least the boiler finally got fixed. He came round, he sorted it all out, and we're all nice and toasty now. Where I've been trying to look for a new property, it's definitely been difficult. Several times this week I've been looking at property websites and still no avail to find somewhere a little cheaper than what we're paying at the moment. This week has definitely taken a toll on me because I found myself that I've been working a hell of a lot of hours and I've been started at 6 o'clock in the morning and not finished till 6 at night. Now, some of you might think that 12-hour shifts aren't that bad, but if I was working in an office, I wouldn't be in that state of mind to complain. When you've been on your feet for 12 hours and you've been driving long distances and you've also been walking long distances, you do find that you come home and all you tend to do is fall asleep. To top the finances off this week, I have noticed one thing. It's January! And what does January mean? It means it's time for my MOT. Now, my car has got a massive dent in the back due to my own fault, but somehow I don't think it's going to pass an MOT. So I've got to the end of the month to enjoy my car before I become one of those, what do you call them? That's it, pedestrian. I decided that I'm going to find some time today to sit down and spend some time with Sarah. I've slightly been neglecting her since I've been working loads, and we decided to choose a night to actually sit and watch a movie. Now, we sat down and watched The Social Network, which is something I've been wanting to watch for quite a long time, and to be honest, I was quite pleased about it. I heard a lot of mixed reviews regarding whether it was going to be crap or whether it was going to be good, but overall, it was a good film and it didn't require that much brain power in order to watch it. Although I'm the one that's been working loads of hours, Sarah did find the time to have a little nap halfway through the movie. Once the movie had finished, we realised that we were out of cat food. And how did we find out? Yes, we had 5 cats sat on our face. So I had to pop to the 24-hour garage in order to buy some cat food at really expensive prices. But at least it shut them up for one night. So I got to that part of the week where I was really achy over the overtime that I've been doing, and I decided to myself that I was going to have a nice hot bath. So I started running the bath, and what did I find? Oh, it's lukewarm, and why is that? Aha! The pilot light went out again. So after run up and down stairs several times with the kettle, I finally got my nice, really hot bath. I did find that I was torturing myself over the past week whilst looking at property, because when you start searching on the internet, what do you find? You find that it lists the highest price first. So I don't have £535,000 in order to fork out for a 5 to 7 bedroom detached cottage in the middle of the sticks. But it's always nice to dream. But you've noticed I'm actually quite tired. I've got really buggy eyes. Really tired. I got a spot as well from all that stress. And why was this? It was because we had to drive all the way to Sheffield for Sarah's nephew's birthday. Now, I don't mind being in the present company of 2 or 3 kids, but when you're in the room with nearly 1,000 of them, it's a little bit crazy. We spent 3 hours today in a place where kids can run riot for a nominal fee, get themselves some cake, get themselves something to eat, get themselves some cake, get themselves something to drink, get themselves some cake, get themselves a little hyper. And I was more exhausted from just standing near the corner trying to avoid them. Cake, a little hyper. I'm now sat down with a can of lager and I'm going to relax for the rest of the evening. With one more thing to add, we did come across a property which we might be able to mortgage. Now, I don't know anything about mortgages and I haven't mortgaged before, but at least there's no harm in asking. So you never know, we might actually be able to move into a mortgage property and there'll be no more landlords. The only problem is then is that I'd have to fix the boiler. So that's a summary of my week. Okay, nothing much really went on this week, but that is because I've been doing about 60 hours worth of working. I have started to realise that when you're working a full week like that you don't have time to do much. It does ponder the question though, those who actually work these long shifts and they don't actually like their job, why do they do this? In my own mind, I prefer to be poor and happy rather than have loads of money and not have any time to spend it. So that's it, that's week 2. I suppose I'll see you next week.